Hey everyone, if these soul-crushing stories of betrayal and ice-cold justice are keeping you hooked, smash that subscribe button, tap the bell, and let's dive into another one that'll leave you speechless. Here we go. The Christmas market in Rossio Square was in full swing, the air thick with the sweet smoke of roasted chestnuts and the bright chatter of families bundled in scarves. Fairy lights draped the statues and twinkled against the wet cobblestones after an afternoon drizzle. I stood near the towering Arbre de Natal, pretending to browse handmade ceramics, while keeping my eyes on the entrance of the luxury hotel across the plaza, the Altis Avenida, all Art Deco elegance and warm golden glow spilling onto the street. My wife's work friend whispered, "She's leaving with me tonight." I heard it clear as church bells through the tiny microphone, hidden in the brooch I'd given Katerina for her birthday last month. I didn't flinch. I simply took out my phone and made one call. Katerina and I had been married 11 years. We lived in a light-filled apartment in Lapa, with views over the rooftops to the river, the kind of place that made visitors sigh with envy. She was a senior brand strategist at one of the biggest agencies on Avenida da Liberdade. I was a partner at an architectural firm restoring Lisbon's historic buildings. On paper, perfect. In private, we had grown quiet, speaking more in logistics than love. Our daughter, Leonore, 8 years old with her mother's dark curls, was the only warmth left between us. The man whispering those words was Nuno Ferreira, tall, charismatic creative director, 10 years younger than me, with the easy confidence of someone who had never been told no. He'd joined the agency 2 years ago. Suddenly, Katerina had late client dinners, brainstorming weekends in Evora, team retreats in Troia. I noticed the way her eyes lit up when she mentioned his name. I noticed everything, but I didn't notice soon enough to stop the rot. The real wound wasn't even the affair, it was the history behind it. Nuno wasn't just any colleague. He was the son of the man who destroyed my family 25 years ago. When I was 15, my father, João Mendes, owned a thriving construction company, specializing in restoring azulejo facades. He was proud, stubborn, and trusted the wrong partner, Antonio Ferreira, Nuno's father. They bid on a massive contract to restore the Palacio Nacional de Queluz. Antonio sabotaged the bid, leaked falsified reports about my father's finances, then swooped in with his own company to take the job. My father lost everything: the firm, the house in Cascais, his health. He died of a heart attack 2 years later, sitting on a plastic chair in our tiny rented flat in Benfica, whispering that he was sorry he couldn't give me more. My mother never recovered. She cleaned offices until her hands bled. And when I was 22, she walked into the Tagus one foggy morning. They found her scarf caught on a buoy near Cais do Sodré. I rebuilt myself brick by brick. Scholarships, night classes, sheer will. I swore I would never be powerless again. Then I married Katerina, who knew all of it. I told her on our third date, tears in my eyes over bifanas and beer in a tiny tasquinha in Alfama. She held my hand and promised she would never let anyone hurt me like that again. Yet here we were. I discovered the affair 6 months ago when Leonore asked why Mama and Tio Nuno were holding hands in the park. Children see everything. I hired a discreet investigator, former PJ, expensive, thorough. Photos, hotel logs, messages. Enough to drown them both. But the messages revealed more. Nuno knew exactly who I was. He had targeted Katerina from day one, bragged to friends that seducing the wife of that Mendez boy was the perfect way to finish what his father started. The son will lose everything this time, his wife, his child, his pride. He even planned to convince Katerina to fight for full custody, claiming I was emotionally unstable because of my tragic past. That was the moment mercy died inside me. I spent those 6 months preparing, quietly, methodically. First, I updated my will and set up a trust for Leonor that Katerina could never touch. Then I transferred assets, our savings, my shares in the firm, into structures she didn't know existed. I recorded every conversation in our home legally, thanks to Portuguese law allowing it in your own residence. I befriended the hotel manager at Altis Avenida over months of business lunches, slipping him envelopes thick enough to ensure cooperation. Tonight was their grand exit. Katerina had told me this morning she was attending the agency's Christmas party at the hotel, might stay over because of drinking. She kissed Leonor goodbye with extra tightness, as if she sensed something. I smiled, told her to enjoy herself, and took Leonor to my sisters in Alvalade for the night. Now standing among the market crowds singing Natal dos Simples, I watched them through the hotel's glass doors. Katerina in a red dress that caught every light, Nuno's hand low on her back as they laughed with colleagues. They thought they were invisible. My phone buzzed. The hotel manager, Suite 512 as requested, security on standby. I dialed the number I'd saved as Tio Paulo, actually the head of a private security firm I'd hired weeks ago. Do it, I said. Inside the hotel, everything changed in seconds. 6 uniformed security officers, big men, polite but immovable, appeared in the ballroom. They moved straight to Nuno and Katerina. Whispers rippled outward like rings in water. Señor Nuno Ferreira and Señora Catarina Mendez, one asked formally. Nuno laughed nervously. Yes, is there a problem? You are. Both required to leave the premises immediately. Allegations of harassment and misuse of company resources have been made. Katerina went pale. What? By whom? The officer ignored her, gesturing toward the exit. Phones were out now, recording everything. Colleagues stepped back, creating a circle of shock. Nuno tried bluster. This is absurd. Do you know who I am? At that moment, the agency's CEO, whom I'd anonymously sent a dossier to 3 days earlier, walked in with HR. His face was stone. Nuno, Katerina, my office, Monday. You're both suspended pending investigation. Katerina's eyes searched the room, frantic. She saw me through the glass, standing across the square, under the Christmas tree lights. Our eyes locked. I didn't move, didn't smile, just looked at her until she understood. Security escorted them out the side entrance, away from the market crowds, but not before dozens of videos were already uploading. By morning, the Realtis scandal would trend. I walked home slowly, the city alive with holiday music and laughter that felt distant, like it belonged to another life. The rain had started again, soft and cleansing. Katerina arrived at the apartment an hour later, soaked, makeup streaked, pounding on the door until I opened it. Miguel, please, she sobbed. It's not what you think. I stepped aside to let her in. On the living room table sat an envelope. Divorce papers, I said quietly. You'll sign them. You get supervised visitation with Leonor. You touch the trust, you go to court, and every message, every photo, every recording of you and Nuno planning to destroy me becomes public. The agency will fire you both. His father's old crimes? I have documents ready for the newspapers. One call. She collapsed onto the sofa, the same one where we used to read Leonore bedtime stories. "Why?" she whispered. "We could have talked." "Because you didn't just betray me," I said, voice steady. "You let the son of the man who killed my parents finish the job. You chose him. Now live with it." I left her there in the dark and went to pick up Leonore. Spring came early that year. The jacarandas bloomed purple over Lisbon's streets. Nuno's career ended. No agency would touch him. Katerina moved to a small flat in Amadora, working freelance for half her old rate. She sees Leonore on Saturdays, always supervised, always distant. I kept the apartment. Some nights Leonore and I sit on the balcony eating gelato from Santini, watching trams climb the hill, and she asks when Mama is coming home. Soon she'll have her own home, I tell her, but we'll always be family. I never told Leonore the whole truth. Some weights are too heavy for small shoulders. On quiet evenings, I walk Rossio alone, past the Christmas tree that's long gone, and feel the ghosts of my parents walking beside me. The market lights are different now, but the city remembers. One call, security stormed, and the past finally rested.